Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Wednesday, January 26, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 500 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Toronto Raptors vs Chicago Bulls. Toronto will be on the second night of a back-to-back when they clash with the Bulls in this matchup. They are in action Tuesday against the Hornets. The Raptors had a late comeback effort fall short as they got outplayed 114-105 by the Portland Trail Blazers on Sunday. Pascal Siakam scored 28 points and Fred VanVleet had 19 for Toronto, which fell behind by 34 points in the first half. Gary Trent Jr. scored 13 points for the Raptors, while Chris Boucher and Og Anunoby each had 11. After a 5-game road trip in mostly full arenas, Toronto played at home, where fans have not been permitted since December 31. They put forward a poor effort against the Trailblazers in front of an empty stadium. Thankfully, this game will have 20,000 screaming fans. Both teams are playing their third game in 4 nights here, so there is a fatigue factor in play. With that said, the Raptors are playing the second game of a back-to-back and have to fly in after playing Tuesday night at home against Charlotte here. Meanwhile, Chicago had Tuesday off after playing Monday night on the road. Perhaps more importantly, the Bulls should have DeRozan back in the mix to face his former team in this contest, which is a plus for them. Getting Lavin back in Monday's game was critical for the Bulls, and that day of rest comes in handy. We saw Chicago nearly melt down in the game against the Thunder as fatigue got the better of them down the stretch. Our first betting pick will be Chicago Bulls on the money line. For the year, Chicago stands 12th in the league in scoring offense with an average of 110.3 points per contest. The Bulls are 28th in rebounding as they collect an average of 42.8 boards a night, while they are 16th in assists by handing out an average of 23.9 dimes per contest. Chicago is 16th in scoring defense as they allow an average of 108.7 points per game this season. Zach Lavin is second on the team with 24.9 points per contest on the year. DeMar DeRozan contributes 26.3 points a night while Nikola Vucevic, 16.5 points, 11.3 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and Lonzo Ball, 13 points, 5.4 rebounds, 5.1 assists, each average in double figures. Alex Caruso, Kobe White, 12.7 points, Javonte Green, Ayo Dosunmu, Derrick Jones Jr., Tony Bradley and Alfonso McKinnie are looked at to provide valuable minutes as well. As a team, Chicago is 4th in the league in field goal percentage as they knock down 47.2% of their shots on the year. The Bulls are 23rd in the league by knocking down 11.5 three-pointers per contest, while they stand first by hitting 38% of their attempts from beyond the arc on the year. Patrick Williams suffered a wrist injury against the Knicks on October 28. He underwent surgery and is expected to miss 4 to 6 months. Caruso suffered a fractured wrist on January 21 against the Bucks and will be out until sometime in March. Ball, knee, underwent surgery and is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks while Jones Jr., knee, is out as well. DeRozan was rested Monday in the second game of a back-to-back, so he should be back here, but keep an eye out for an update. Our second betting pick will be under 222.5. Memphis Grizzlies vs San Antonio Spurs. The Grizzlies are 18th in shooting overall, including 23rd in three-point shooting, while scoring 111.6 ppg, which is 6th in the league. They have a shot of getting back on track against a weaker San Antonio defense. Leading their attack in the loss was Ja Morant, 25.3 ppg, who had 35 points, while DeAnthony Melton, 9.7 ppg, had 12. The Memphis defense has been average overall as they are 16th in defensive FG percent, 26th in three-point defense, and 15th in scoring defense at 108.4 ppg. We also note that they are first in blocks per game at 6.3. Dallas shot 49% from the field overall, but just 30% from long range. Still, they outscored Memphis 27-12 from the three-point line, and that was the difference in the game. Despite its recent rash of health issues, the Grizzlies are still incredibly potent on offense. Morant gives them a weapon few teams can match up with, and that includes the Spurs. Even with an effective Murray running things for San Antonio, the Spurs are no match for the Grizzlies' ability to score in transition and create easy scoring chances with their speed. In addition, Memphis is a much more sound defensive team than San Antonio and should be able to contain the Spurs' interior offense to a large enough degree to cover this modest point total. Dallas is able to give San Antonio fits because Doncic can dictate pace and control the game. As talented as Murray is, he is not on that level yet in his career. The San Antonio Spurs have not had a good season overall, but they do come in off a 30-point road win over the Houston Rockets on the road. Still, it was just the fourth win in their last 16 games, and San Antonio is now at 18-30 on the year, while sitting 13.5 games out of first in the Southwest Division. San Antonio won the game by a score of 134-104, and leading the way was Dejant Murray, 19.3 ppg, who had 19 points, while Jacob Poeltl, 12.9 ppg, had 18. In all, the Spurs had 8 players score 12 points or more in the contest. San Antonio shot 57% from the field overall, including 38% 12-30 seconds from long range in the win. Our first betting pick will be Memphis minus 3.5. San Antonio comes into tonight's matchup with just 3 wins in its last 11 games. The Spurs, like many NBA teams, have suffered through COVID-19 related roster shuffling. They just now are getting back many key pieces which could explain the team's dominant performance against Houston. The Spurs exploded for 134 points en route to a 134-104 blowout win. Dejant Murray and Jacob Poeltl combined for 37 points in 3 quarters to help the San Antonio Spurs roll to an easy win. Murray, far and away San Antonio's best player this season, scored 19 points and 10 assists in just 3 quarters of play, while Poeltl chipped in with 18 points and 9 rebounds, and a short night's work for him as well. The Grizzlies did get another stellar performance out of all-star guard Ja Morant. Morant continues to make his case for MVP consideration this season, as the second-year guard went off for 35 points and 13 rebounds for the Grizzlies, going 14 for 31 from the floor. Unfortunately for Morant, the rest of the Grizzlies did not join him. The Grizzlies team, excluding Morant, shot 23 for 68 from the field for 38%. They shot a season-worst 16.7% on three-pointers, 4 for 24. In addition, the Grizzlies had a number of first-half firsts in futility in the game. Lowest scoring, 34 points, poorest shooting, 28%, and worst behind the three-point line, 14.3% on 2 for 14. It was also the lowest scoring opening half for a Dallas opponent this season. Our second betting pick will be under 228. Dallas Mavericks vs Portland Trail Blazers. The Mavs have actually been in some decent recent form, their last rout against the Warriors notwithstanding. They had won 5 of the 6 matches preceding that. The Mavs are now 27-21 for the season, second in their division standings. Tim Hardaway Jr. was helped off after a foot injury. The Trailblazers are not struggling anymore the way they did earlier in the season, but there is still plenty of work to be done to improve. They were beaten 109-107 in their previous game by the T-Wolves as they slipped to 20-27 for the season. It's a shame Damian Lillard is injured, so we can't watch the spectacular matchup between Dame and Luka. Still, the Blazers proved they can play excellent basketball without their superstar, so they will be a tough nut to crack for the Mavs on Wednesday. With CJ McCollum back and emerging young star, Anthony Simons, to lead Portland in the backcourt, and Powell back from injury, the Blazers have the quality to beat Dallas. I am going to be happy if they manage to cover, which would be a success against the in-form Mavericks. Our first betting pick will be Blazers at plus 4.5. Once again, the Portland Trail Blazers made an upset. Following their unexpected win over the Boston Celtics on the road, they also beat the Toronto Raptors. The Blazers controlled the Raptors in the opening half and allowed just 34 points, scoring 64 on the other side. The tilt was already decided at halftime, so the Blazers could afford to take their foot off the gas pedal. In the end, Chauncey Billups' side got a 114-105 win and covered a +8 spread. It was the 4th time in 5 games the Blazers managed to cover, and now they improved to a 19-27 ATS record. The Dallas Mavericks ended their 5-game homestand with a 104-91 victory over the Memphis Grizzlies, the 4th win of that homestay. The Mavs didn't have problems covering a -4 spread, but it was the first time in 4 games they covered to improve to a 24-22-1 ATS record. Dallas owned Memphis in the first half and allowed only 34 points, scoring 48 on the other end. The Mavs let just 4 three-pointers on 24 shots, 16.7%, and then maintained a convincing lead for the rest of the game. Luka Doncic flirted with a triple-double as he finished with 37 points, team-high 11 rebounds, and game-high 9 assists, along with game-high 3 steals. Kristaps Porzingis, 15 PTS, 8 RAB, and 6 BLK, and Jalen Brunson, 13 PTS, helped Doncic to lead the Mavs to the victory. Our second betting pick will be 216.5. Disclaimer, no financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information contained in or provided from or through this channel is not intended to be and does not constitute financial advice, investment advice, trading advice, or any other advice. The information on this channel and provided from or through this channel is general in nature and is not specific to you, the user, or anyone else. You should not make any decision, financial, investment, trading, or otherwise, based on any of the information presented on this channel without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or financial advisory.